We're at the Richmond Oval, the site of Game 2 between the Canadians and the Thunderbirds. So, Steve Erickson, the broadcaster of the Canadians, Greater Vancouver took Game 1 last night. Tell us what happened.
Bit of a shock, to say the least, for a lot of the Greater Vancouver Canadians fans and families and friends, and especially the team and coaching staff. But it was a good game overall. You got to give full credit to both goaltenders. Lucas Shaw, as well as Boston Billy, who's the goaltender for the Fraser Valley Thunderbirds, played remarkable. Big boy, 6'3", stood in his head. So they've got the luxury of height-wise for goaltenders. About 5 inches different between the two goaltenders going into the game, but they played exceptional from start to finish. They got a couple of lucky bounces. Second goal that they scored, taking a 2-1 game, or pardon me, a 2-0 game, just a lucky goal because Scotty Atkinson, the captain for the team, come around the corner, happened to just catch an edge, fell down, give the puck away. They put it over top of Shaw's shoulder and took a 2-0 lead. That sort of gave them a little bit of motivation. The boys on the team, a little bit deflated at that time, but they were fortunate enough to capitalize on a miscue of the breakout for the Thunderbirds coming out of their own zone. Got it at 2-1, about 2 minutes and 40 seconds remaining in the period, and the third period. And then about 40 seconds remaining in the period, they tied the game up, forcing overtime, again to the shock and absolute disbelief of the Thunderbirds. They were in shock when that happened. But forced overtime, took it to overtime. About 3 minutes in, the boys pulled out a 3-2 victory, forcing Game 2. And of course, Game 2 is inevitable, but it did put them up in the driver's seat by a 1-0 score so far in the standings.
Would you say it was a fitting end to Game 1, considering how close these two teams are, or standings during the regular season?
Yeah, I would. I'd say it was a fitting finish, but it was a well-played game. It wasn't chippy overall. Both goaltenders played well. Young Benny Kang refereed the game, and Benny actually, I know Benny's had concerns and issues, or some of the coaches have had concerns with him. Benny actually called a good game. It was a good game, well-officiated game. Linesmen were quick, moving into any situations that might develop, but the officiating was not an outcome of the factor of that game, and nobody can question it. They might question the odd face-off location here and there, but for the most part, it was really well-officiated, and I thought it was fitting that the Canadians win on home ice for Game 1, putting them, like I say, in the driver's seat going into Game 2, and Game 2 going tonight in the next little while. This is pivotal for them. They want to pull this win off, move themselves forward, and get themselves down the road for the TELUS Cup, which is being held this year up in Prince George.
And of course, a must-win game, of course, for the Thunderbirds. What do you see? What do you think is going to be? How they're going to play? It's
going to be interesting. I think they're going to be a little more aggressive, but both teams are missing a couple of players. Dick is going to be out of the roster due to a suspension for the Fraser Valley Thunderbirds, and we're going to be listening to Thomas von Schoenberg, who is out. Apparently, he's got an ailment with his shoulder concern or partial separation. I guess if you were in the NHL, they'd say it was an upper body injury, but it's an injury that's forced him on up. That's a key component of the back end for the Greater Vancouver Canadians. So both teams missing a couple of key players in the roster tonight. So it's all about playing a full 60-minute game, showing up, knowing what you can do, and letting the coaches know what you can do. Nothing about being selfish. Don't try and be selfish, do it yourself, because we know mistakes are very costly, and we've seen that even in the NHL level.
Should be a fantastic Game 2 tonight. We'll look forward to the play-by-play on the web, Steve, and have a good game tonight.
Okay, thanks very much, and I appreciate your time in doing this. And I know everybody that watches these off and on, they've told me that yes, they've seen my smiling face not only here but also in the post office on probably the wanted list. So thanks for doing this. I appreciate it, and all the best down the road.
Of course, I'll send you a link, and thanks so much, Steve. Talk to you again soon.
Okay,
bye bye.